and welcome to another Hill and Ponton Disability Benefits blog. I'm Matthew Hill, here with Carol Ponton. Today we'd like to talk to you about Parkinson's disease and specifically Parkinson's ratings. Over the last 4 or 5 years after the VA finally conceded that it was related to Agent Orange, we've handled dozens of these cases. And where we see major mess-ups are on the rating. The way the VA rates cases is twofold. They either rate the diagnosis or they rate the symptoms of the disability. And with Parkinson's, the way that the diagnosis is rated is that it's given a flat 30%. So if you have Parkinson's and you're service connected, then the VA, the minimum of which they must pay you is 30%. But it doesn't stop there, and that's the problem we see, because a lot of times
Parkinson's,
they don't
right.
rate the symptoms.
They don't rate the symptoms. So I think it's a 30% minimum if you have Parkinson's, but then Parkinson's causes problems in every area. So if you have tremors and you can't use your hands, remember then they should rate both arms, both hands, and it's, can you use your hands? Are you able to use your arms at all? Same with your legs. Can you walk? Can you use your feet? Are you in a wheelchair? All of these areas, if you have problems, you get to be rated. But it's more than that. Parkinson's, unfortunately, will sometimes affect your bowel and bladder control. You're entitled to a separate rating for each one of these problems. Speech, swallowing. Parkinson's, unfortunately, can affect so many of the areas of the body. And sometimes people can't even use their hands or feet anymore. And then that's a separate rating. That's called, it's called an SMC, a special monthly compensation. And you can get a lot more money a month if you've lost the ability to use your hands or your feet. Mood, thinking, Parkinson's can really destroy that. That's a separate rating right there. You could get 100% just for the mood and the effect on the mental for Parkinson's. Parkinson's should be giving you a very high rating. And if you're not getting that, you need to look and make sure each one of the problems you have is being rated by the VA.
Right. And as Carol was saying, Parkinson's is a central nervous system disorder, so that it doesn't affect just one area of the body, but it can affect, as she said, things as different from speech and use of tongue to not being able to properly step with your foot and causing loss of balance. So it is important when you're looking at your Parkinson's case, and a lot of times it's so difficult because you're fighting to get service connected, to get the VA to recognize that it's actually related to service. But once that happens, you need to make sure that the rating is correct. And it's, as Carol said, it's almost like you have to do a full inventory of problems with your body and make sure everything is noted.
I mean, there can be a 60% rating for bladder or urinary control. I mean, those are separate ratings as well. So unfortunately, what we see is we usually see a very low rating for Parkinson's when in fact it should be sometimes mostly 100% or more.
Well, and Carol alludes to or more. We've also seen plenty of cases where it's 100% and that's not enough. Just recently, I was able to get benefits for a veteran who had been at 100% and get significant special monthly compensation. And just to use round numbers here, 100% is about $3,000. We took that veteran from $3,000 to $7,500 because
a month,
because the loss of use, he had both of his arms and his legs, was so extreme. And so that's the thing with this disability. It's, you want to make sure not only is it just not only is it rated solely on the disability, the diagnosis itself, but all aspects are accounted for. And again, if you get to the point where you can't really pick up a fork or can't walk properly without holding on to something, those are areas where you really need to probably look into pushing a case up and above 100%.
Right. And remember, veterans are they're always told, be careful, you'll lose what you have. With the disabilities we see with our Parkinson's clients, they're not going to lose that. In fact, they're losing very important benefits, aid and attendance. I mean, it just goes on. And if you can't see the problems, because sometimes people who have these problems are trying to just get on with it and not dwell on it. Ask your partner, ask your wife, ask whoever helps you. They're going to be able to tell you, yes, these are areas that have been affected because of the Parkinson's.
Right. Well, thank you for joining us, and if you want more information on Parkinson's disease, please look at our blog. We have quite a few entries on this, and take care and have a nice day.